Hello everyone, Ceri Griffiths here, as you know me, Ceri the Crafter. Now I'm here with a product launch, one of my own products I'm going to launch. You may or may not be aware that in March this year, which is 2025, I'm launching a challenge called, it's hashtag Mixed Media March 25. It's going to become an annual challenge and I'm going to tweak it as we go along. Not going to go into all the details because there is definitely a launch video already out there and there's a playlist, so I will put the launch video in the description box below, or when you watch this video, if you look at the top right hand corner of the screen at the end of the end of this video, you'll see it pop up. You can click on that and go through, just in case you're interested. Now, one of the criteria, and it's a hangover from last year's challenge, and it will be in each challenge going forward, is that there's an element of something that's created on or generated by the gel plate or a gel press. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have a gel plate or gel press. If you've got friends, you could do a swap of scraps with them. I also said if you want to use a digital of things that are created by a gel plate or a gel press, you can do that as well. And I know several of my designer friends and content creators have already got digital kits out there, the digital downloads, their printables, depends on how you were to wish it. They're all out there. Some are free, some are for sale. They're a resource. So I have had, since I did the launch, I've had lots of people come at me and go, Ceri, have you got a digital we can use? Well, I closed my Etsy shop last year and I haven't got any digitals anywhere except I think I've got one definitions printable that's been launched with PM Artist Studio, whom I designed for. And for several years, people have been saying to me, Ceri, will you make some of your gel prints into a digital for us? Now, I've always shied away from it because I truly believe that the vibrancy of the real thing can't really be duplicated by a printer. But I've worked on it. And I'm going to go to the overhead in a minute and I'm going to show you the original, and I'm going to show you what I managed to do on the inkjet printer, and I'm going to be able to, I'll show you the paper I used and everything. But I have a kit. So it's called Gel Prints, Snippets and Scraps. There's 10 pages, and I've designed them so that each page, each page is made up of panels and pieces, all rectangles or squares, because whether you're making a postcard, an artist trading card, a tag, a journal card, a collage, a masterboard, you can tear these up. You can take them into pieces and add them on. You could embellish them further with your own stencils, with your own pieces. I'm going to tell you how I got to the vibrancy. I'm going to show you what paper I used, as I've said. The other thing you could do is you could, depending on your printer, you could give them a coating of like a satin finish gel medium or something, which would make them a bit more shiny, should I say, although I like things to be matte. But I would say if you're printing out anything on an inkjet printer, and you intend putting Mod Podge or matte gel medium or something over it, print the things out and let them sit for several days before you do that, because that will let the ink fully impregnate and set and cure into the paper. If you wet it enough and rub back and forth, it's going to move. That's ink on paper for you. The way that you could do it where it's not going to come up is if you were to take the file and go to a print shop, or if you're lucky enough to have one, if you did a laser jet copy of each of these, then they would be a lot more vibrant and they would actually be stationary if you painted something over the top. So enough of me gassing on. Let me flip this camera around, go to the overhead. I want to talk you through it all, show you everything. But for those of you who have been asking, I hope this is what you wanted. They're launched at PM Artist Studio on their website. Go to printables. I will definitely be putting a link in the description box underneath. This launches on Sunday, the 2nd of February. With the time change, I know that the product launch is also for the 2nd of February. So, but 2nd of February for them is 6 hours behind me. So I'm going to try and time it so it all works together. But I'm also going to, just in case the link I put in isn't working at the time, I'll put a link to the PM Artist Studio website printables page. And if you click on that one, as soon as it's launched, it will become the topmost one that's launched. So enough of me gossiping. Let's get on and turn this video around and take a real good look at. I'm quite proud of these guys. Took a lot of work though. It wasn't easy gathering all of the different pieces of all the different gel prints I wanted to use. Some I had to make new, some I had them already. There's a lot of gel prints in here, or at least scraps and snippets of them. So anyway, enough gossiping, enough gossiping, enough gossiping. Let's flip the camera. And here we go. And I'm quite proud of this one. And don't forget, there's 10 pages in this, but you can always take the pieces off the cover sheet as well, and those become pieces for you to use as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have on the right side of the screen, I'm going to have the printed version. On the left side, I'm going to have the original version. So let's first of all get the cover sheet out of the way. Let's flip that over. So you can judge for yourself whether you think I've got as close as I can. Now, my method was I waited for a very good day. I put them on a grey background, as you're seeing here, because that way my camera read them in their truest form. And then I took a photograph of each of them. Then I went into Photoshop, which I use a lot, and I increased the saturation and the vibrancy and the sharpness to make them as close as I could possibly get them. I also made the digital is actually in an American letter size. So I've printed that onto British A4 paper because I don't have American letter size. So if you were to print them in America and did borderless, they would be 8.5 inches by 11 each. Here in the UK, all I've done is I clicked on fit a scale to fit and it did this size, but as I'm using them as torn up pieces and not pages for a journal, I'm quite happy with that. Now, before I go through these, let's talk about paper. Now, this is a bit of a battered packaging, but I stuck it together a bit for you because I didn't expect to have to be showing it to anyone. I print my digitals on what I call a presentation paper. Okay, this is a brand. I get it on the internet, eBay and Amazon. For me, sell both of it. It's for colored documents. This is probably what you're looking for. All of the information here. It says color laser or color inkjet. That'll give you the stuff you need to know there. It's a very white paper. I'm trying to give you as much information as I can on everything on here, guys. Take a screenshot if you really need to read it, or pause it and take it from there. You could print on matte photo paper as well if you wish, but I would be aware that if you're going to be using glazes and stuff over the top of it, sometimes matte photo paper will act a little different if it gets wet, and yeah, just be aware of that. So this is what I'm using, and this is what I use, and it's a bit, pull a piece out, let me just put it to one side so that you don't see me struggling. So get a single sheet of it. So it's not that different to copier paper, but it's a little more sturdy. I mean, it is still paper. It won't add that much weight or thickness to your creations. So let's get on with this then. So these are the 10 pages you will get in the digital. It's up to you which ones you print out. I would say if you're going to purchase this digital and you're going to use it for the challenge or anything else you want to use it for, I would just print off the page that you want to use at the time. Because as you know, with all these colours, you're going to use quite a bit of ink if you print the entire pack. Print off the page you want, and then the bits that are left, put them in a box, and then when you need another page of a different sort, print that one and keep adding to your scraps. So this was the original. As you can see, it was all acrylic onto 250 GSM cardstock. And I meant to have them next to each other, didn't I? So as you can see, it's not a million miles different. This one, which is page number 2. Oops, knock it over, Griffiths. I find picking up paper really difficult. So this is page number 2. Now, I did struggle getting the greens as vibrant as they needed to be, but to be honest with you, I actually quite like the printed version better than the original version. I quite like the grungy look. Then going on to page number 3, I believe this is. Now, I managed to get this purple to go quite dark, and that was a purposeful choice. This is page 4. You do know I'm going to forget what page number I'm on in any moment. I lightened this block up because I didn't like how dark it looked there. Come on, page number 5. This is page number 5. Can't pick it up, come on. Page number 6. As you can see, I did enhance the detail here because I wanted that to be a little darker. This is page number 7. Page number 8. I really like this version here. And I like this here as well. The last 2. Page number 9. And page number 10. I particularly like this piece here. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be using this solely for my own efforts in the challenge or not, but I'm certainly going to be using them. As you can see, they're already printed out. So let's come back to this. So just to reiterate, so I used a presentation paper, which is a bit of a step up from normal copier paper. Normal copier paper I found didn't give me the vibrancy I wanted, and I never print my digitals on copier paper anyway. I always print on presentation paper. I didn't change the settings on my printer. I have an old Hewlett-Packard inkjet printer, which is seen better days. So for it to print, which it always does well, then I'm happy. It was an inkjet. I didn't tweak any of the settings. I just let the printer control the color. As I said, I let them print and I would leave them a day at least before using them, so that with inkjet, sometimes the color will move if you wet it. I like to let them sit a little bit. And that's it, guys. Thank you for the suggestion. As I said, I don't do digitals very often anymore since I closed the shop down. So for me to do a digital, believe me, I worked at this. I made sure this one was worth the effort. So enjoy the digital, pop across, buy it if you wish, do not buy it if you wish. I will not be insulted. These are all my own designs. They're all my own work. Use them as you will for your pieces of art. All I ask is, please guys, as with anything, don't share the digital printable with anyone else. Don't print it out and then sell it in packs. A little respect for the artists out there. Treat these as you would anyone else's digital. And you never know, if they're really popular, I might do another one for next year's challenge. So thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoy these. I certainly enjoy the end results. So take care. I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's C-E-R-I the Crafter. Until next time. Goodbye now.